let's get into the topic for today. And we're gonna title this "Should I List Now or Should I Wait?" And the subtitle really is, if you're a seller and you're looking to sell your house but need to buy another one, this is a tricky scenario. And what are the best options for real estate agents to help their clients navigate this transition and advise them on some of the different ways it can happen and work out.
And it's really tricky right now because of the limited inventory that we have on the market. We have sellers that tell us all the time, there's nothing that I want to buy, or I'm not quite sure, or I want to wait till the perfect home comes up. If we rewind and we go back 2 years ago, doing a contingent offer much easier because the inventory was more, people weren't fighting over houses as much as they are today. So it's a very, very tricky situation.
Yeah.
And Morgan and I have had to navigate this a couple times already this year with people that were in this exact same boat where they came to us and said, hey, look, I want to sell my house and I want to buy something, but I'm not quite sure if I want to list my house and then find the right house, or if I want to go out and find the right property and then try and do a contingent deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a at some point in time for homeowners, it's definitely something that you're going to be faced with when you're looking to upsize, downsize. You're going to be faced with a time where you need to sell your current house. You're looking to buy your next house. It just so happens that right now in today's market, those waters are a lot more choppy than they have been before.
Yep.
So I think we all have a good idea, but those are pretty much the scenarios. I mean, really we're discussing, for the most part, although it can change, these are people who are, in the valley and looking to relocate, have a house to sell, and would like to purchase another, not necessarily moving in and out of state. That these are in-town local residents.
So first and foremost on the list is you always want to consult your client and find out what's best for them. What are their goals? What are they able to do? So we have clients that will tell us, hey, Josh, Morgan, look, I want to find the right house. I don't need to do a contingent deal. I can pay cash for that next house, or I can still buy it and move into that property and then list and sell my house. Obviously, that would be best case scenario. We think that having people where if they're in a situation where they can actually move out of their property and move into another home, meaning that their home is vacant, which makes it easier for showings. It makes it easier. A vacant house, depending on the furniture, might show better. It's gonna be cleaner. They don't have to worry about preparing the house.
Exactly. Like Josh is saying, we're really going to talk through this with you and present 3 different options. And some of them are going to work best for some, and some are going to work best for others. But in option number 1, really you have that person, what we boil down is, if they can afford to do so, right now is a great time and opportunity to buy that next house first and get it under contract. If they have any reservation about that, because first and foremost, contingent deals have less than a 3 to 5% chance at best at getting accepted in today's market. And that varies by price point. In some price points, it's almost 0% chance.
Sure.
So when you really approach it and say, hey, can my client go out and write a contingent offer and their house is not listed, it's not ready to list, it's just, give me 60, 90 days to try to sell it, that offer is almost never going to get accepted right now.
The seller's going to say, no, I'd rather accept another offer that's not contingent than take your contingent offer and it may or may not go through.
Yeah. So your best case scenario are for those buyers who say, yes, I don't want to carry 2 homes, but I can afford to, I can qualify for the next home. I can make that purchase and then I can sell one. It's a smoother transition for the move, the process. Like I said, we can stage it. You can do some small repairs if you need to do them. That's a great situation. Understandably, that's not a large percentage of the market. who can afford to do that, maybe 20% or so. But but that's option number one. If you can afford to do it, great. Now's a great time to do it because you can feel really comfortable about your house selling in a timely manner.
Yep. Option number two, get the house listed for sale. Don't wait till they find that perfect property and then list their house, because once again, we're dealing with a contingent offer situation and the sellers may or may not want to deal with that. Most likely they're not going to want to deal with it. So get the house listed and then go out and start shopping for houses. And if on day one, a buyer comes in or multiple buyers come in and they offer on that property, that is a great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. Now, during that preparatory process, of course, start showing them properties, try to get into it as much as possible, start looking, and they're going to be looking anyway, but it is a great problem to have if you have a full price or an over full price offer for that seller, because now, let's say you do list their house and you're able to net them on the listing side an extra $20,000 above list price that they had never counted on or never planned on. I mean, that's cold hard cash in their pocket. Now they can go out, they can feel more comfortable, maybe stretching up to a little higher price point, maybe putting a little more money down. It's just such a great problem to have. You are armed now with a valid pre-qual, their house is under contract, and if a contingency is going to be accepted, that's the contingency that will get accepted.
100%. And there's also different ways to navigate that too. So you can do a close or a longer close on their house, on the listing. So instead of doing a traditional 30-day close, you can close in 45 or 60 days to buy them a little bit more time to go out and find that perfect house. Or you can potentially do a post-possession or a lease back. I have a scenario right now where my client is doing a post-possession for, I believe it's about 3 weeks after the close, which is great. She's thrilled. That gives her plenty of time to move during that time and clean the house up and whatever else. But post-possessions are really popular, or a lease back if they need multiple months. They need 3 to 6 months. There are buyers out there that will allow the seller to remain in the home for anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple months.
Definitely.
For the right house.
Yeah, there's buyers, if they love the house enough, they're going to be willing to wait or be flexible. You just don't know the flexibility of the buyer until you get into that contract negotiation phase. And so there's 100% buyers who are willing to buy the house and don't need it right away that will facilitate your seller time to move. If you never list it because you're worried about that everyone will want to close in 30 days, well, guess what? You're not going to find that buyer who's willing to accept that. So that's where option two comes in. You know what? When in doubt, get the house listed. Once everything will work itself out as you get it sold.
Yeah, and it's funny that when you list the house, and if you were to get multiple offers and whatnot, it's funny how all of a sudden sellers find other options, like, oh, I can go live with Aunt Susie, or I can go move into an Airbnb for a couple months, or I can do this or that, or I'm going to go on vacation, or people get very creative with
when they have an over asking price offer on the table, and they're now.
For sure. When they realize, okay, I've got a great offer, and you know what, maybe this isn't so bad. I can take a couple months and go live somewhere else, and I can store my belongings. They come up with all different ideas and what they can do in order to keep this deal together and make it happen, in order so that you can find them that perfect next house for them.
Yeah, when they have a buyer that's ready, willing, and able, and wants to close in 30 days and pay, and they realize, hey, I'm now able, I just sold my house for a lot more than I ever thought I'd get. Like Josh said, they're going to get creative on ways to make that happen.
Yeah. We even have a moving company right now that will literally pack their stuff up, store it on their trucks, move one of their trucks into a warehouse, and store their belongings until they close on the next property. So people get very creative.
Yeah, and it's really not that expensive. It's not as much as you may think to do something like that. So there's a lot of options out there. Having a contract is a good problem to have.
Absolutely. And the third and final option, if your clients can't afford to buy another house and hold two houses at the same time, if they don't want to get it listed on the market, if they're absolutely 100% against it for whatever reason, then the third and final option is you want to get the house prepared and ready to sell.
You've got to do, and we literally mean everything to prepare that house to list. We mean your photographs are done, the small repairs are done, it's cleaned up, it's prepped, they've moved out, they've decluttered, they've downsized, they've already packed up some of those other belongings. You're so ready. You go as far as starting to pre-market the property, make flyers. You've got it.
Put a sign in the ground.
Put a sign in the ground. You are literally doing pre-marketing, everything but the MLS, to have that house ready to launch. Chances are in today's market, if you work hard enough, you might even be able to find a buyer for it before you ever go live. Whether that's the best scenario or not, TBD. But the point is you're ready to go and you're earnestly looking for houses to where when your clients find the house they're really interested in, you can go to the listing agent and let them know, hey, I'm ready to go. I've done this. I've had X amount of calls just off the sign-in from the neighbors. If we're ready to, if you accept our offer, we're ready to list this tomorrow, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I've got listing docs in hand. I've got it already uploaded to the MLS. I already have photos done. Literally, all I have to do is go on and with a couple of clicks, the house is active on the market. Here's the address. Here's the list price. You can check it out to see that we're in line with the comps and whatnot. And that will at least give your client enough ammunition that they can go to that when you're going to present their offer, hopefully that listing agent can see that you're serious, your client's serious, and hopefully be able to put that deal together based on a contingent offer.
Yep. And the reason this is so, the reason this is, option 3, but it is literally a must, is because let's take another scenario where you're out shopping with your clients and you haven't done all the preparatory work on their house and they find a house they really like. The chances of them being able to buy that with a contingent, I still need a week or two to get my house ready to sell, to do all this, our photographs done, all that stuff is a no,
Yeah.
we haven't done this, we haven't done that. There is no chance,
Good luck.
no chance that your offer will be accepted. So your clients now just lost the home of their dream, or one that they really wanted to buy, more importantly, because the work beforehand. But you know what? They don't know that they need to do all that work. That's why you're there to tell them and advise them and say, hey, here are the best steps. Here's how this is going to play out in this market we're faced with in 2020.
Yep. Yeah, our back's up against the wall, but let's at least do everything we possibly can to put yourself in the best position so that when we offer on a property and it is contingent, that we have everything done that we can literally go live and hopefully get your house under contract within a week or two of going live. And once again, going back to the pre-marketing, if you've got a coming soon sign in the ground, then you are getting signed calls, you're getting people that potentially have interest in the property, you're putting together that interest list. And if those people, if they're unrepresented and maybe the property doesn't work for them, it doesn't have enough bedrooms or it's priced, at a different price point or whatever, then you now have leads that you can go and work and help them find another property. So it's a win-win for everyone.
It's definitely a win-win. And just, the thing is, and Josh and I say this all the time, but when you have, as agents, when you have a reluctant seller, it's part of it is because the selling is the pain point. The selling is the part that no one wants to go through. It's the packing. It's it's the idea of moving, and it's a big disruption. The showings also, some of those things are a big pain point. The gold at the end of the rainbow is the new house, the new life, the bigger backyard, the more square footage. Even the less cleaning if they're downsizing. The single level. There's all these. The point is, you need to get out there and show them houses. If they're really reluctant to sell their house, part of it might be because they really just can't envision what the next step looks like. And as you can get them out and really get them to the point of being more comfortable with and seeing the other options that are out there, that really helps speed up the process of, yes, I am ready to part ways with my old house and move on to the next.
Yep. So even if it's a MLS drip campaign to where they're starting to see photos And then hopefully there's something that they have some interest in, and you can say, yes, let's get in the car, let's go, you know, or let's meet over at this property. I'm happy to walk you through it. Just once again, just so that they can see it, feel it, and then, you know, perhaps they're interested in making that next step.
You've got to be willing to put yourself out there. And that's, you know, here in real estate, we work and work and work in faith that one day someone will come along and pay us for our efforts. And so that's just how it is. You know, you're going to, oh, well, my buyer's not ready to buy yet. So what? Show them a house. You know, if they want to go look at it, you're happy to show it to them. In fact, you're encouraging them to see it.
Yeah, we've had so many buyers that were not ready to buy yet, and then all of a sudden they buy. They find the right house and they buy it. So
yeah, because it really comes down to the right house. I mean, if they walk in and hate the house, they're obviously not going to buy it. But if they walk in and it's perfect for them, as before, they're going to start making ways to work it out and make it happen. Life happens.